So today we're going to make pierogi dough mix from the Blue Rose Gluten Free mix. So first thing, and I've already done it, I've dumped the big bag of flours into the mixer. Just turn it on. Of course, if it'll work. There we go. Turn it on, kind of knock out any lumps and stuff, mix it all together. You want it nicely uniform, just kind of blended. So the instructions are in the box, but you're going to add 3 egg whites. This is a combination of the ½ cup cream and ½ cup milk. For this batch I've done lactose free, so I've chosen lactose free versions of those. And that's pretty much all you need to add to this. Now the trick is, you let this slowly mix. It can take a long time, don't rush it. It's going to get crumbly, eventually it's going to come together as a ball. Don't rush it because it is what it is. Gluten-free is finicky. This can be a bit. And it's looking like it's coming together not too bad. If it doesn't come together and it comes out looking more like sand, you may need to add a little more whipping cream or egg white. You want something that's going to make it stick and glommy, but don't overdo it. You don't want a lot of liquid in this mixture. So, let me see. I've got some that's starting to come together, but I still have some powder. We'll go a little faster, see if we can make it all form a relative ball. And if you can get in here and see, I'll dig a bit. You can see there's a lot of flour in the bottom. I don't want that much flour left out. So I will be adding a little bit more cream. Of course I wasn't prepared for that, sorry. Not much, just a touch. And let's mix it again, see if it's going to all come together nice. The thing with this pierogi dough is the more you work it, the easier the dough is to work with. And I think we're going to need a tiny bit more. The humidity in your kitchen, all sorts of factors will affect how this stuff comes together. Luckily, this recipe is a lot more like cooking than baking, so it's got a little bit of forgiveness. Okay, and as you can see now, there is no loose dough in the bottom of the pan. And this is pretty much starting to form a ball, so we can take it off of here. And now, time to get in with your hands. All of the time you're working with pierogi, very hands-on, hands in. So make sure you've got clean hands and a good clean. Alright, so as you can see, I've got one fairly big ball of dough from that batch of pierogies. If this is your first ever time doing it, I recommend dividing this into 3. I've been doing it for a while now, I'm getting used to the dough, so I'm going to separate it into 4. You want them all to be relatively the same size. It's not an exact science, but you want to divide it into 4 similar sized balls, or if you're just starting out 3. Okay, then you're going to start working just with 1. So you need wax paper. Air is not your friend with this dough. If you're not working with the dough, keep it covered. Very important. So with this first one, if this is your first time working with dough, split it in half. Each half you're going to divide into 6. So first time doing this, you're going to get 3 dozen pierogies out of this. If you've been doing it more often, you can get 4 dozen. So I've got my little half here I'm going to divide, and just into 6 little balls. Unfortunately with this dough you have to do each pierogi separately. And you'll see that in the next video. But from here you can see they're relatively the same size. Toss them in, keep them covered. Whenever you're not working with them, keep them covered. You're only working with 1 at a time. When you open the mix, you're going to find a little bag like this, of flour. This is absolutely in case you need to flour the surface. Generally, don't flour the surface. You'll see why in the next video, but this is kind of an emergency in case. I almost never use it. And that's everything. Feel free to check out the next video for instructions on how to actually roll them out and build your pierogies. Okay, so we whipped up the pierogi dough in earlier, and now I've got one of the portions. If this is your first time making this pierogi dough, I suggest you make 3 portions out of the entire batch. Make 3 portions, then you're going to divide each portion in half. And for your first time, you want to divide each of these into 6. So you want to make the whole batch into 3 dozen pierogies. As you get better, you can make them thinner and it goes farther. So I will just quickly knock this into 3. So 3 little balls. You want to keep them under plastic wrap. Not plastic wrap, wax paper. Air is not your friend when working with these gluten-free doughs. So you can see I got a little ball of dough here. This is going to be for 1 pierogi. And you can see when I squish it, it kind of crumbles and falls apart. We definitely don't want that. So first thing you've got to do, clean hands are a must, of course, always. You're going to work this between the palms of your hands and just roll it. You'll feel it getting a little stickier. That's what you want. Doesn't take long. And then all of a sudden you can see I can play with it. It's not crumbling as much. It will a little. It cracks a bit, but not as bad. So this I can work with. So lay it, make a little ball, lay it down, kind of give yourself a flat little disc to start. Take your rolling pin, roll it out a few times. With these doughs, I find I never have to flour the surface. Too much flour makes it even crumblier. So you just want to do what you can to work with it. This tool is a godsend when it comes to these. Angle it, put some pressure, go under, cut it off the counter. So here you can see it's wider than long. So this time I'm going to scoop it this way, so I'm only rolling it the other direction. I really don't know why that's worked so well for me today, but it has. So I roll it out nice and thin, scoop it up, flip it over. You want to check, make sure there's no tears in the dough. I'm not happy with this shape yet, so we're going to do 1 more. If it takes 5, go ahead and do 5. Sometimes it works in 2. But in the end, you want a shape that it's like, you know what? Now I can see a pierogi in this. Again, you can see it's longer than wide, so I'm going to fold it this way, which is going to be how I place the filling in. So I roll the filling between the spoons, make kind of a little log, I guess, and then I lay it across. Keep the filling away from the edges. Filling against the edges is not your friend. It'll keep you from being able to seal the pierogi. Now the catch is very gently roll this side up and over. I tend to pinch, then I use my thumb, roll the pierogi right off the counter. Then carefully, you've got to seal these edges. So take your time, pinch as close to the edge as you can. Once you've kind of got it sealed, flip it around. Here I've got a tear in the dough. So I've got to work on fixing that. There we go. And then make sure that edge is sealed. Tears, or if the edge isn't sealed, you're going to have your filling floating in the pot when you boil them up. Definitely not your friend. So I'm happy with this one. I'll stack it over here with all the other ones. As you can see, I've been at this for a while. They're separated by sheets of wax paper. Don't let the pierogies touch each other. If you do this and freeze them like this, once they're frozen solid, you can throw them all in a Ziploc bag. They won't turn into one big glommy mess. That's it for now.